Hello, my name is Caden Ellis, and my project is on music in the 1980s. The popular genres in that time were rock, pop, and the very start of hip hop. The king of pop, Michael Jackson, was born on August 29th, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, and died on June 25th, 2009, in Los Angeles, California. Jason is an inductee of the Songwriters Hall of Fame and a double inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So that's pop. And then for hip hop, Run DMC was a hip hop group founded by the late Jason, aka James Master J, that included Joseph Simmons, aka Run, and Daryl McDaniels, aka DMC. The group had an enormous impact on the development of hip hop through the 1980s. They had an album that featured Aerosmith, and it was a collaboration with them and it was a collaboration with Run DMC and Aerosmith, and it was a very popular song. And then Run DMC became the first rap album with a platinum album and a multi-platinum album, as well as the first rappers to appear on the cover of Rolling Stones magazine, to receive a Grammy nomination and appear on Saturday Night Live. So that's hip hop. Oh, and James Master J was shot and killed in October 2002, leading Run DMC to announce their retirement. So that was not very good. And then AC/DC was the one I chose for rock. And AC/DC is an Australian rock band formed in Sydney, Australia in December 1973 by Angus and Malcolm Young. Their albums have sold in colossal numbers. The total is now estimated well over 200 million copies were sold worldwide. With the 1980s album Back in Black selling over 21 million copies. The album outsold Michael Jackson's Thriller and tied with Pink Floyd's Darker Side of the Moon. So AC/DC had a big impact on the rock in 1980.
Hi, my name is Brody Curry, and my part for the evolution of music is the 1990s to 2000. So let's get to it, I guess. So some genres that were just popular in the 90s were rock and alternative rock. A lot of alternative music period was very popular in this time period, you could say. And some of the ones that were the most popular were like, for in that alt rock genre, was like Radiohead, Weezer, Oasis, and the Smashing Pumpkins. They had some weird names back then. Most of the biggest of these guys, the most iconic, were all alt rock. So yeah, it was also big on heavy rock, like heavy metal. I don't like it myself. It also started grunge and industrial music, and it also, a lot of people know this band, even if they don't like it, Korn with a K, and System of a Down. So, people like that. There was, of course, pop, as per usual. It's, as most people say, it's lame. A lot of the 90s pop was not the most popular genre. It was there, but not popular. Hip-hop was huge during this time. This is what some people say, it's golden years. This is a very argued opinion, but most people say that the 90s are the golden era of hip-hop. The golden year of hip-hop, sorry. Yeah. But the main theme, every genre, every time has a theme with these. A theme of the music. And this one was cool. It was rebellion and nonconformity. Like, don't let people push you down. Just be yourself, and if they're trying to rebel, get away from them, you know? So, yeah. One of the most popular bands of this time, actually the most popular band, was Nirvana. It was a grunge band in America. It was in 1987. They originally started in 1987, but their biggest part was in, I guess, the 90s. So, it was part as this is a time period back then for when grunge was really popular. The Seattle grunge scene of the late 80s. And as their popularity rose, alternative rock became a dominant genre. This is when alternative rock started getting popular. So they were a band for a while, but in the 90s, their golden years, I guess, they recruited a drummer named Aaron Burkhardt because, actually no, sorry, and one of their buddies of the band committed suicide, and after that they stopped. They didn't want to do it anymore. They just got all sad and were like, no. And one of the reasons 1990 is one of the most popular is not because it had some big hits. It's because it had a lot of new genres. This is when a lot of the genres we know today came out. So yeah, that's about it.
In the first decade of the 2000s, music was heavily influenced by current events. The 9/11 attacks, the war against terrorism, and the economic downturn, including the housing crisis and the stock market crash. Music reflected the artist's response to all of this. Some responded with anger, like Linkin Park, and to songs In the End, Waiting for the End, and Crawling. For others, this brought out patriotism. Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning by Alan Jackson is one of them. Toby O'Keefe wrote Curtsy of the Red, White, and Blue, and Aaron Tippin recorded Where the Stars and Stripes Fly. Some use their music to vent frustration. Broken Dreams by Green Day is one example. Although there are much uncertainty, some also chose to project hope through their music. Rise Today by Alter Bridge and Jason Mraz's I'm Yours, and Black Eyed Peas' I Got a Feeling, and Fall Out Boy's Dance Dance help people to be able to focus on the positive things of their tragedies. The People History was able to sum up this era as follows, and I quote, "For a decade filled with much suffering in terms of the September 11th attacks, 2 wars in the Middle East, and an economic downturn, a lot of the music had to strike a fine balance between upbeat and optimistic, while still reflecting the pain that many had experienced," end quote. Certainly, the music will tell the story of the people who lived in it.
Hi, my name's Derek Bowden, and my project is on music evolution 2010 through 2018. So some of the popular genres are throughout the decade are hip-hop, pop, country, heavy metal, Latin, rock. So, and some of the artists that are not new this year or this decade, but that were popular throughout this decade are Drake, Rihanna, the Eminem, The Weeknd, Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, some of those artists. Some new artists this year are Post Malone, Trace Atlantic, Billie Eilish, Lil Pump, Logic, Khalid, Dua Lipa, Cardi B. Those are some of the new ones. The bands that were popular throughout the decade are Coldplay, Linkin Park, Imagine Dragons, Maroon 5, 21 Pilots, BTS, and Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, Some of the new bands are Monday Blocks, Our Generation, Everyone You Know, Money Time Creators, some the most successful right now, like this year, 2017 through 2018, are like Drake, Ariana Grande, Cardi B, Post Malone, Khalid, Billie Eilish, Bozzy, Sam Smith, Panic at the Disco, Shawn Mendes, Travis Scott, like Selena Gomez. Some popular albums throughout the decade were like Adele's albums like 21, 25. Eminem's album was the Eminem Show. Channel Orange was a really big one by Frank Ocean. Some recent albums right now that are really popular are Innovation of Privacy by like Cardi B, Camila by Camila Cabello, Beer Bongs and Bentleys by Post Malone, Astroworld, Travis Scott, Sweetener, Ariana Grande, Scorpion, Drake, and Kamikaze by Eminem. There's my report, so